Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on Divine Conversations. I'm really, really excited for this conversation. For me, it's personal because I'm talking about a piece of my identity, and I really cannot think of two better people to be having this conversation with here. So today with us, we have Susana Woodward and Melissa Gomez Romo. I feel like I'm sorry if I say that incorrectly. We can edit that. Let me know if I need to start over. But yes, Susana and Melissa, we have known each other just in passing professionally. And today we get to dig a little bit deeper into just who we are as Latinx people and women, and just being here in Duluth and what that looks like and feels like. And
welcome to Divine Conversations Podcast, a space where faith meets real life and community stories lead the way. We're here to lift up the voices of BIPOC families navigating housing, healing, mental health, and so much more. Whether you're a parent, a provider, or someone walking alongside our communities, you belong here. Each episode, we share honest conversations, resources, and real stories of resilience. Together, we're creating a space for healing, hope, and divine conversations, where healing begins and stories rise.
Susana, you want to share just a little bit of your background and just about yourself?
So my name is Susana Pelayo Woodward. I don't have a hyphenated name, but I know in my email doesn't have that. Okay. And I'm originally from Mexico. I grew up in Mexico City, and I came to this country when I was, I can remember now, like 18. Okay. I would say like 17, 18.
Oh, wow.
And I came to Ely, Minnesota, of all places. And I worked there for 3 months, and I went back to Mexico, and then I came back. And I thought it was only going to be for 6 months. And then 6 months, it's now 30 plus years that I have been living here. So Duluth is my home. Yeah. I always say I'm going home when I go to Mexico, but really this is Duluth. I have spent more time in Duluth than actually growing up in Mexico. So almost all my adult life, as a young woman and adult, has been living in Duluth. So
wow. So how did you decide on Ely, Minnesota? Of all places?
I got a job working there. With the scouting. So I was very involved in the scouting in Mexico. In Mexico, we have co-ed scouting.
Yeah.
And so the United States of the scouts here hires people from all over the world. I don't know if they still do it.
Okay.
And I applied for the job. Never thought that I would get the job, but I wanted to go to either it was Florida or New Mexico.
Okay.
And then my last choice was Minnesota. And I got hired, and they say, you have a job, but it's in Ely, Minnesota. And I say, okay, I'll do that.
Oh, my goodness.
And I work in Summers Canoe Base.
Okay.
So there were other scouts from mainly the United States, but then there were maybe there are 10 other people from other parts of the world. And so they train you how to, go in the boundary waters. I mean, it was a wonderful experience.
Wow, that's awesome.
And my English was very poor. Believe me, I don't know. It was a struggle, but I survived.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. Melissa?
So Melissa Gomez Romo. I grew up in LA. My parents are from El Salvador. And I was just born in LA, spent a few years up to 24. And then we decided to move to Arkansas for about 10 years, ended up in Minnesota. My sister taught at UMD. And so we came to visit her for my birthday once. And then my husband ended up finding a job that same weekend. And so we ended up coming back.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That's crazy. So he applied for a job while you were all here visiting?
Yeah. We knew it was going to be time to go. It was 2016. And we had just had our last kid. And she was a girl, and I was getting worried about her reproductive rights in Arkansas. It was something very daunting. Having a girl child was very daunting to me.
Yeah.
And so we knew we couldn't stay in Arkansas
Right.
We needed to give her more opportunities than she was going to have there.
Yeah.
And so we were already looking. And there was this moment where we had the Penske truck packed up. And for a split second, we said, what if we go back to California?
Yeah.
Like, what if, because my parents had already moved back to California.
Okay.
And we're like, what if? And we're like, we can't do that. We're going to end up living in somebody's garage.
Right.
Like, we
The
couldn't
cost of living there.
do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we came up to Minnesota and we didn't have anything at all.
Yeah.
Whatever was in that Penske truck was it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came up and the kids were 10, 4, and 2. And so they know what the sun feels like.
Yeah.
Like the two oldest know what it feels like to walk into the sun in the morning. And poor Amelia has never had that opportunity.
Yep. That's so real.
That's how we ended up in Duluth.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
It was awesome. Like having them be in the South for a minute, really grounded us.
Yes.
Like as a family. And then coming up here it was very different.
Yeah.
It's culture shock.
It is.
It was a big culture shock because where we were living in Fayetteville, Arkansas, there's this northwest part of Arkansas where there's a lot of folks from different cultures. Like it has the largest Marshallese population outside the Marshall Islands. So they already had dual immersion schools.
Okay.
There was a large population of Salvadoran immigrants.
Yeah.
Huge population just going up and down that border. And so we had the food, we had the culture, we had, and so coming out here, the kids were definitely shocked that they couldn't eat pan dulce.
Yeah.
Like on Saturdays.
Right.
So I'm like, what?
Oh, man.
But yeah, like that's how we ended up here.
Yeah. What a story. Wow. I love that. I was adopted from Honduras. And so, and then raised over in Superior, Wisconsin. And so really, and my parents definitely were definitely tried to push me into like cultural things. But growing up, I fought against it because I just felt like, well, no one else here is.
You're trying to fit in.
Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly it. Yeah. And so my parents tried to plan a few trips to go back and, be present and connect me with other families in the area, trying to do the best they could and make food and try to immerse me and try to engage me. And I just had no interest for so long because of that. All my friends are white and I have no desire to be part of this world that you're trying to.
You don't want to be standing out. Yeah.
So, and then it wasn't until kind of college when I did a lot of traveling. And I remember the first time I went to Miami and I was like, oh my gosh, there's more of me everywhere. It just blew my mind. I'm like, what? This feels so it felt at home. And then that kind of opened up this oh my gosh, there's other places across, the country that Hispanic people and Latinas are thriving and it's just not in Superior, Wisconsin. It's not happening there. So, that's a piece of my story. But then I'm, I have 3 kids and married. And so also navigating now what is it to really help my children engage in who they are, this side of them. So, and we'll talk about these with some of these other questions, but the first thing I really am just curious about, what does being Latinx as a mother and a leader mean to you personally? And maybe we'll start with you, Susana.
Yes, that's a great question. I feel that there's so much about our identity that comes into who we are. Even that society wants you to leave that part of you outside. And so sometimes it's a struggle. I feel like in personally for me, in my work professionally, sometimes I have been completely 100%. I could be myself, but not in all spaces. So in some spaces, I feel like I do have to leave who I am in some areas. but not completely, because I feel my values and who I am as a person can, are very strong with me.
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be difficult in that balance.
100%.
And you ask a question as a mother, as a leader, and as a Latina, Mexicana. Sometimes it's not easy because you're also trying to be a role model for others.
Right.
And then when you're working full time and you have children, and so I feel like sometimes people like, oh, well, you're busy, you have kids. And I always get upset when I said, don't ask me if I can do something, just invite me. And I can tell you if I could do it or not.
Yes.
Because it's not for you to decide what I can do and I cannot do just because I have responsibilities. We all have responsibilities.
Right.
So I feel like sometimes society, as a woman, and if you're a mother, sometimes there is that expectation that, oh, well, maybe she's too busy, she has a family, or maybe she won't be able to do that because her kids.
Yep,
And it is very
that too.
upsetting. And then you put another layer as a woman of color
Yes.
that it makes it sometimes even more difficult.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about why you think it's more difficult or why it feels more difficult? And Melissa, feel free to jump in on that too, because
I just love to listen to Susana.
No, I know, me too.
I'm like, yes, I'm just here.
Just gleaning from your wisdom. But no, so let's talk about it. Why do we feel like that extra layer that you're talking about makes it harder? Like, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, no. I think for me, it's been a little bit more complicated because I have 3 kids with autism who have different needs.
Right.
So in their neuropsych evals, the boys are pretty much the same, and Amelia is completely polar opposite to them.
Okay.
So I'm being pulled several different directions, trying to teach my own kids how to work within their deficiencies. On top of that, I still have to go to work. I still have to show up for people.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to carve out this community for them.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be accepted. And that's something we don't talk about, like in Latino culture, is having kids with any disability.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
And still having them be part of the community. So I think like here in Duluth, it's really special because we're starting off from almost like a blank slate, like within that. And like my kids can be part of the community.
Yeah.
And so that's been interesting for me, like to try to navigate and show up in places. I don't call it leadership because I don't feel like I'm a leader. I just show up in places.
You are.
I just show up.
You're a leader.
No, you are a leader.
Like
community leader.
But carving out a community for our kids, has been one of the focuses. Like if I have to place a goal on why I'm in Duluth, because we all work on goals, it's carving out a community because I know that they're going to stay in Duluth. Like to give them a foundation and a base for them to thrive in Duluth, just like any other grandchild of an immigrant.
Right.
Here in Duluth, like it will be their space.
Yeah.
And they can claim it as theirs.
Yeah.
Will they speak Spanish? Who knows? Probably not. But will they feel accepted and invited? Yeah. Yeah. We can do that.
Yeah.
So at least that.
For sure. So
I love what she's saying.
Yes.
Since even when I was a student, because I went to college here, I always got involved in the community, even in spaces where people didn't want me. Because I always made it a point, even if I was not going to stay here, of saying, I want to make myself present because this is what I live. Yeah. And if I want to transform and change, I need to get involved. Yes. And so I have been involved in different organizations, and I feel like the same. I felt like if I wanted to if I see that something is not right and to raise children in this society, that then we need to create that change.
Yes.
To make sure that there is a better space and a better life for our children and the children that come afterwards. And I always tell people, I'm doing this not just for my children. We're doing it for everybody, because think about the advantages that if we have a better opportunities for our children, other children will benefit.
And then they'll stay. They will stay in Duluth.
Yeah.
I mean, we see them like in traditional Latino communities, like we see people come back. Like the kids are going to want to come back from going to college, or they'll want to stay after high school, or they will want to create their own space here. And I really want my kids to feel, I'm so tired of moving. I've seen my parents move so much. I mean, when they came to the United States, and it's like we've never had a home.
Yeah.
We're so migratory.
Yeah.
And we know that people thrive in permanent spaces. And I want that for my kids. I want them to have a home to come back to for Christmas or for the holidays or when they're feeling sad. But I'm tired of moving. And that's like showing up in these spaces. It means permanency.
Right. Right. And, you know, I like what you both said about it's really like you're literally we're pioneering the way for your children, like as, you know, Latinx. And I guess I'm curious what your thoughts are too, as a mother yourself. Like, how have you had to do some of that pioneering for them to be able to be here in Duluth, Minnesota?
Yeah, you know, I have 2 children, and I have a nephew that he came to live with us when he was 12. But when my children were younger, I think it was hard for them because I will speak to them in Spanish, and my mom lives with me. So when you come to my house, your house, anytime mi casa, su casa, it's like completely all in Spanish.
Okay.
You know, Mexican food, everything is Spanish.
Yeah.
And I struggle because the kids will listen to Spanish and they will have to talk to my mom, but they will refuse to speak in Spanish. And that was very sad. But it was like when you talking about your story, they were trying to fit in. I remember my kids I was at the grocery store and I was like talking like, no hagas eso, come here, ven acá. And my little kid, the youngest said, Mama, English. And it was sad for me because he didn't want to feel like other people were looking at us.
Yeah.
I also have an accent. And I feel like sometimes my accent creates like people, I mean, everybody has an accent, but I don't know, with my accent, sometimes people will speak louder or ask me to repeat. Yeah. And it was sometimes it's very frustrating because I'm like, I can understand you. I'm pretty sure you can understand me. It's just sometimes you're getting used to my accent.
Yes.
So the part about not being able to, I'm so grateful now that it's an immersion school. I wish that was here when my kids were younger.
Yeah.
But the part of not being able for them to be bilingual. My oldest now is like, he's like, oh, I wish you would have just forced us to speak Spanish.
I'm sorry.
And I say, I wish I could have done that, but you know, you also needed to fit in.
Yes. Yeah.
But my youngest also speaks some, but my oldest, I feel like he's trying really hard to now finding himself and connecting. But I know that it was sometimes really hard for him to try to fit in a culture that pushed you back. And, you know, that sometimes racism wasn't part of them not really understanding why people make them feel like they were different.
Yeah.
My children are biracial because my partner is white.
Yeah.
But they look more like me. And so that part, I think, sometimes is difficult because we know that even to today, racism is it exists. And children learn what their parents teach them. Right. And sometimes it breaks my heart to still hear the stories of children that are being marginalized or pushed back just because of their color of their skin or because their parents have an accent or maybe don't speak English that well. So that part for me was one of the pieces that I got very involved in the school district. At that time there was a committee called the Desegregation Committee, and just involved in trying to figure out ways of how we could educate, work with teachers, doing workshops, and figuring out ways to make sure that my children and other children didn't have to go through feeling marginalized or put down by other children. I mean, my oldest child had a point where a kid was saying, "Oh, go back where you came from. Go back to why you claimed that wall." And, he came home and he's asking me, what are they talking about?
Right.
And trying to explain to my child that they are talking that they think that all Latinos, we came here illegally or undocumented. Or that we cross a wall. And I mean, it's just these perceptions and misunderstandings that people don't understand the reasons why people immigrate in the first place. Sometimes it's out of desperation, because of war, because of economic, issues that you have to do. Yeah. I remember getting invited. I got invited to speak at a class, and my oldest child, his school, and it was about talking about immigration. And I don't think the school the teacher liked what I spoke, but I said to them and to the kids, I say, how many of you would like to one day just wake up and say, oh, I think I'm moving to another country. Nobody speaks my language. They don't even have the food that I like. I don't have any family, any support. Who of you will do that? And it was this silence, because nobody will do that.
Right.
So this adds the reason then why people come here. So I feel that for me and raising my children, that was one of the pieces that I felt very strongly of making sure that share their culture. I will, make presentations, talk to the other children.
Yeah. That's so good. You're like a pioneering, really, like the way for them, and to be seen. I think that's like one of the biggest things. Yes. You either like shrink back out of fear and just, the shame and the things that are coming at you, or you go into spaces and like make space for yourself and like, yeah, I'm here. Like, I have every right to be here, just like you do, It's so crucial. And,
it's very unfortunate. The district used to have cultural centers. No longer anymore.
I didn't know that.
What? Yes, there was we started the Atlantic Cultural Center. There was an Indigenous Cultural Center. Yeah. There was an African American Cultural Center, an Asian Cultural Center.
Wow.
And they had coordinators that work in the center, and they were very connected with the community. So the community will come and do presentations.
Right.
Children will come to the centers. So there was like a way for parents to volunteer.
Yeah.
And for the different cultures to be able to share your cultures and then be able to work with other school teachers across the district.
And this was in the school district?
Yeah, that was in the 90s. Yeah.
Through the school district?
Through the school district.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I feel like we stepped back.
Yeah.
I feel like we've made major step backs.
Right. Yes, wow. I feel like we, we move 2 steps forward and then we go 10 backwards.
Yeah. What happened to or they just like
and they were eliminated because of budget cuts.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it was very unfortunate because there was a huge there was a really great connection to connect the community and to start talking about our differences, but also our similarities as a community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting to hear about.
Susana reminded me of, because I grew up, somebody once told me I grew up on the right side of the border. So my parents were immigrants and I was that kid. And I grew up in Watts, so close to Compton, but the bad side.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was a policy at this time of LA Unified School Districts, but Spanish-speaking kids were put in ESL. And they stayed there until 5th, 6th grade. So there was no chance to be in an English classroom because your parents spoke Spanish. But we had this assignment in 2nd grade, and it was family trees.
Yeah.
Well, my parents came from El Salvador during the war. We were not talking about grandparents. We were not talking about second cousins or anything. There was no family tree for me to present. And this was like it was like my first missed assignment. But I just didn't understand how other people had family trees.
Right.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
So when my kids grew up, as they were growing up, Pablo's a 4th generation foster kid. He grew up in group homes. I did the ancestry DNA thing, and then we found out that his family was from Jalisco and Chihuahua. And I managed to trace his line. And
Wow.
turns out that his grandfather fought in World War II and came from a long line down to the Civil War from New Mexico, fought for the Union. So I raised my kids to know that, yes, they are Latino, and also their ancestors fought since the Civil War in the United States.
Yes. Yes.
And to never, ever be ashamed of who they are. No, they don't speak Spanish. They try. But that was also a very, we had to choose to either speak Spanish or English because of their disabilities. So we didn't have, I don't feel like we had the choice. They really didn't, they were struggling in English. They were going to struggle in Spanish. And Spanish immersion didn't work out for the 2 kids that did it here at Lowell. But that was something that I always tell them.
Yeah.
Like, Latino folks have been in the United States since the beginning of time.
Right.
We can trace our ancestry back. And we know that we belong in all of these spaces.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they are a byproduct of 1492. You look at our DNA, you look at our stories and our histories. We are 1492.
Yes.
I don't care where you're at.
Yep.
It is incredible. And so now when they go and they do assignments, I always make sure to let them know the boys have an unbroken Y DNA strand from a conquistador in Spain, which, take that for what it is still your family history.
It's in there.
Like, they are 1492.
Yeah.
So that was always something very different that like the shame that I had hearing my mom speak Spanish only because she never learned English, or seeing how I had to interpret for the doctors, for my mom. Try an OB visit and interpreting for your mom.
Yep.
I made sure to let them know that we are not here by mistake. We belong in all these spaces.
Yes.
So that is something like, I grew up with that shame. And I tried to uplift that and change that whole narrative.
I had never heard about the ESL, like Spanish kids just automatically being entered into ESL, but I would imagine that it was fairly common for a while. Did you?
Yeah, even in Duluth.
Okay.
We had a large Hmong community in Duluth. Right. And that was one of when we were working in, when I was involved in the district and working in the community, that was one of the biggest issues that we fought about it against, placing children into ESL when just because their parents, at home they spoke Hmong, or like my kids, they spoke Spanish. My kids were never placed in ESL. My niece, yes, because I have a niece that came and she was placed in ESL. But it was, that part of why placing children just because they speak a second language. It actually should be celebrated that they're able to be bilingual, you know? So, yeah.
Yep. When you were in school in that class, do you remember like just having, not like conversations about it, but like the same feeling among the rest of your classmates?
Well, yeah, it was weird because we all spoke English.
Exactly, yeah.
We all spoke English. Like, I remember watching The Love Boat when I was in kindergarten. Like, we all spoke English. Yeah. And at the same time, it was like, we were stuck in this space because of our parents.
Right.
but we all spoke English, and we all recognized that we all spoke English.
Mhm.
It was very weird.
That is so crazy. Yes.
And also, that's the reason why I can read in Spanish. I can write in Spanish. I
Right.
can,
Right.
6 years of being fully immersed in Spanish language when I wouldn't have had that opportunity
Right.
elsewhere. I mean, thinking back on it, it was beneficial, but also at the same time, my spelling in English really sucks. It's
Yeah.
there's this duality that it
Yes.
was beneficial, and also did any of our kids deserve? Did we deserve it as a
Right.
generation?
No, that's
It wasn't
crazy, too.
fair.
Wow. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. All right. So what has inspired you to take on leadership role in your community? And we talked a little bit about just the drive of being present in these spaces, but I would love to hear more. What has inspired you? And I know, Melissa, you say you don't feel like you are in leadership, but you are. You are a community leader. The community
She's a
sees you
mover
as
and a
such.
shaker.
You are amazing in advocacy and just in policy. You are a leader for sure. So just what has inspired you to take on a leadership role here?
I think for me, it's definitely, it'll always go back to my kids. When I had my first kid, I was 24, and Pablo and I struggled. Pablo's my husband. And we struggled, and we didn't realize that he had medical complications and he was neurodivergent. And so I was taught by some very good PT, OT therapists, because there were seven pediatric clinics within our zip code.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught by them, but I sat through many speech therapy sessions. You're not going there to collaborate. You're advocating for your kid. And no one is a safer person than you.
Yeah.
You are the only person that knows the deficiencies and achievements of your child.
Right.
And you show up like that every single therapy visit, because I read through the reports and I sat through them, and I sat through the evaluations, every single evaluation.
Right.
Every single doctor says that we have a team for our oldest kid. Our kid has 30 plus anaphylactic food allergies. And on top of being autistic, on top of the low IQ. So we have developmental disabilities. And they taught me never to give up. So while he qualified for a SPED 3 classroom at Piedmont, we decided not to go through that and changed him and enrolled him into Marshall. And now he's close to a 3.5.
Wow.
And so to always start pushing, to be the one that knows the strengths of your community, your child, you are the only one. And so I bring that with me everywhere I go, when I'm advocating for families that are unhoused.
Right.
Those are the people you show up for. And those are the ones you fight the hardest for.
Yeah.
Because those parents deserve the same chances as everyone else.
That's right.
To raise their kids in a dignified living space.
That's right.
And so you show up like that every single moment, and you don't stop. And is it exhausting?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
But you know what? You meet so many people along the way.
Yes.
You meet so many people. That's how I met Susana.
Yeah.
Susana is a gift that my sister gave me before she left. I feel that Susana's
so
always
beautiful.
been there. And you meet so many great people
Yeah.
along the way that are working as hard as you are.
Yes.
And that's why you don't stop showing up. I know, right?
That's amazing.
I know. I'm ready to cry. That's beautiful. What about yourself?
I would say education has been I always, when I was a child, I dreamed of going to college.
Okay.
And unfortunately in Mexico, I didn't have that opportunity. So when I came here, was my goal to get an education. And so for me, has always been looking and working for opening doors for students.
Yeah.
Because as much as we say that in this society there's equal opportunities for everyone, it is not.
Right.
And so working in education has been like my area of advocating. Because just like me, I know there's many other people that want that opportunity to go to college or finishing high school, or even if it's not college, getting any other part of education. So when I meet with students at UMD that come to visit, I do usually meet with a lot of the BIPOC students.
Yes.
And it's just saying, it doesn't matter where you go, as long as you think, what is the next steps? What is what I want to do? What is what my goal is? And so my area has always been like fighting for making sure that people have the opportunity, if they want to get an education, to make sure they get an education. So that has always been my area. Because when I share with students, I say, not everybody has that opportunity. So don't take it for granted.
Right.
Because your education, your degree or your certificate or whatever you get is yours. And nobody can take that away from you. So
that's amazing. And you are just like everyone knows you connected to UMD, but you really have been such a pioneer in that space. And so it's really, I just love, like, wherever you go, it's like people know, like, this is what you've been able to do and help students in that way.
Yes,
that's so
education. Cool. And the other part I will say is I consider myself a feminist, so advocating for women's rights.
Right.
And I always say there is no hierarchy of oppressions, and because there's always, if you fight for one, you have to fight for other ones. But as a woman, as a feminist, that has been my other part and passion of being involved in the community. Being involved with PAPSA, the program for AIDS for victims of sexual assault, the WE Clinic. You talk about reproductive rights, and I think we are very fortunate of living in Minnesota, but also we cannot take it for granted because I don't have daughters, but I have nieces, and I have friends that have daughters. I have students that identify as women, so I feel like we need to continue fighting to make sure that they don't lose those rights to be able to decide for themselves.
Right.
When and where they want to have children, and if they choose to be able to have the benefits of having all the health access that they need.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Minnesota is definitely needed right now. With what's going on in the country. So Duluth is a beautiful city, but predominantly white. How has that impacted your experience in raising a family here? Which we touched on a little bit, but.
Oh my God. So my kid, up until yesterday, my oldest, he's 16, up until yesterday played hockey. From the time he was 4. Yeah, he quit yesterday.
Oh,
I know. It was so sad. Sorry.
No,
it was a moment. It was a moment. It was
wow.
All he ever wanted to do was be a goalie. That's it. And he couldn't take it. It was his mental health. And yesterday he told me, I just want to be the best at something. And I wasn't doing that in hockey. I was like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
But like, you have so much to learn.
Yeah.
You're never going to be the very, very best.
Yeah.
And then he sees Jennifer. And so Jennifer's my sister.
Okay.
Brilliant mind. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So many articles, so many books published. And he's like, how can I be like her? Somebody that he looks up to, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, you're going to have to like really study really, really hard. like that is like over there somewhere.
Oh.
But up until yesterday, he played hockey. And I will tell you that there are some experiences that I had never had in my whole entire life.
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. Oh. And walking into a space and being the only family of color. And our kid is the darkest. And being in those spaces. And I remember we moved up here. So he'd been playing in Arkansas. And Arkansas hockey was for what it was pretty cool. It was indoors year round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one rink every 2 hours away. So some of the kids ended up playing like in Chicago and stuff like that.
Right.
So like, but that required a lot of money that we didn't have.
Yeah.
So we moved to where there was ice.
But it still costs so much.
It does. But it wasn't as much as down there. Down south
that makes
hockey
sense.
it's like a money pit. But there was one time where were we? Virginia, Chisholm, Hibbing. We were up in the range. And there was another kid that was he's half black, half native, that played with Ezra. And that night at the hotel, because all the kids were like just running around, they must have been 12. I feared for the life of my child.
Oh, no.
Because here is this tiny hotel in the middle of the range.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the boys that were white were being very aggressive.
Mm.
And their parents were drinking.
Yep.
Not paying attention to anything that any of these kids were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if today, this is one of those moments where it was just like, I wouldn't be surprised if I found my kid hanging from a tree.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And it was that bad. Like that
Oh my
intensity
gosh.
inside that hotel.
Yeah.
And I told the boys, no matter what happens,
Mm-hmm.
come back inside by 10. Don't go into any of their hotel rooms.
Right.
Don't go visit. Don't go knock on their doors, and stay together.
Yeah.
Stay together.
Yeah.
And it was a moment in my life where it was just like, holy shit, if tonight is the night, then this is going to be it.
Yeah.
And you want to try and let them be friends with people.
Right.
You want to try, and at the same time, they never have the same privileges.
Yep.
They will never have the same privileges. And so there was one moment, like,
Wow.
that's what it felt like.
Right.
And so
Right.
we don't, Pablo and I are very guarded. We don't drink with other folks.
Mhm.
We don't invite people into our home. We don't, if we are drinking, we drink outside with people that we know.
Yep.
And we make sure that the kids are going to houses that are safe. But these are
Right.
conversations that we've had, like as a family.
Yeah.
And that was like a really intense. So that's how it's felt.
Mhm.
I mean, I can't speak up for everyone's experiences,
Of course.
but like
yeah.
that was one moment where it was terrifying.
Right. How was it? Did it continue to be since he stayed so long in the sport?
So once he got into high school hockey, it was a lot more controlled because the boys
Okay.
weren't staying in hotels.
Right. Yeah.
They don't travel as often, and if they do, they come back. Their schedule is much more during the week.
Okay.
There's coaches that are part of the school.
Yeah.
So they're not just parent volunteers.
Right.
So
Yeah.
a coach can't go get drunk with the other parents
Mm-hmm.
if he's part of school staff
Okay.
and expected to bring those boys back.
Right.
So we found safety in the high school sports,
Okay.
but up to the tail end of U14, U12 is when, so Bantams is when it started to get really dangerous.
Okay. That's a terrifying space to be
Yeah.
in as a parent. Like,
Mhm.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a moment that was just like, holy shit. So
Yeah.
that's how it feels to be
Yeah.
a Hispanic parent with a kid in sports in a
Mhm.
predominantly white sport.
Yeah, it is.
Hockey, yeah.
Has there been more BIPOC boys on his team over the years, or has he been?
No, he never really felt a good connection with any of the players.
Mhm.
But a lot more diversity. A lot more
Right.
quotation marks, a lot more. So
Asterisk.
maybe there's like 4 kids instead of 1.
Right.
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 But I think at least I can say this with Marshall Hockey, that they hold the kids a lot more accountable. Like the school staff, the next morning, they're seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know about other schools.
That's
So
really
I have
good, though.
felt safer within that Marshall community to let him
Good.
play hockey. Yeah, and that has ended for us.
Right.
It's so weird. But now he's playing lacrosse in Bagadaway.
Okay.
So he'll move on to that.
Okay.
So he'll continue doing sports.
He'll continue doing sports. Oh, yeah. He just wants to be very, very good at something.
I wonder where he gets that from. What about yourself, Susana?
I think it's difficult to raise biracial children in this culture,
Yes, it is.
predominantly white culture. And you mentioned you have 3 children, so I can.
Yeah.
And I think for as my children were getting older, that's when it got more difficult. And it breaks your heart when you hear stories about your children not being feel like they're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest used to go to Harbor City and we'll walk to school, take the bus, and, twice came home and said that he was walking in the skyline and he was stopped by a police officer and asked him what he was doing there and asking for his ID. And he's like, why is he asking me? I'm just going to school.
Right.
And so that's the part that sometimes it breaks your heart when you're like, why are they asking my child? And, as he got older, things got more complicated because he will be walking, going to Walgreens and again being asked by the police, where are you going? What are you doing? And it's like you have to have that conversation to make sure that your child, don't run away. You stop. You say, I'm going to the store.
Yep.
Even that you tell them, why are you stopping me? And you have all these know your rights at that moment. You just have to say, I'm going to the store and I'm walking. And I mean, it's like, so that's the part that was difficult for my oldest growing up here in Duluth. And I remember a story when he was probably maybe like 12. And he asked us to drop him at Mont Royal because Mont Royal has a coffee shop and his friends, he was going to meet his friends there. And so we dropped him there, and then I just drove away. Right. And then 5 minutes later, he calls me. He goes, can you come get me? And I said, what happened? And he goes, well, they haven't shown up. And I was asked to leave the store. And I said, but why will you leave the store? And he goes, I don't know. They just asked me I should leave the store. And I said, well, did you tell them you were waiting for your friends? And then he's just, please come get me. And I figured that at that moment, I just needed to come get him. Right. And then just taking him home. But it's, again, that racial profiling, about why you're doing there. So I think that's what has been the most difficult, having your child experience racism and feeling ostracized by other people. That I think that breaks your heart.
It does. It's so hard. My daughter, my oldest, just turned 11. And so for her birthday party, she wanted to make it theme, she was like, I want to make it Honduran themed. And I was like, what? I was not expecting that. And so, but then it opened up this whole conversation because I didn't know she was really trying to connect with that side of herself. And we talk about it. But she was like, I just want to show my friends. And we live in Esco, Minnesota, which is very small, very white. And we're new there. But I was like, I felt protective. I was like, are you sure you want to? Because I just knew, I had my own insecurities about it. So that's for sure. But, and then my stepmom is from Panama. And so my daughter was like, I want grandma to do a class with, or teach my friends, I want to do an activity, a Spanish speaking activity with grandma. And I was like, okay, this was not what I saw for your 11th birthday party, but cool. And so, it's all white kids at this party. And we get to the point where her grandma is gonna, do this lesson, and they were gonna do kind of a play. And my daughter's super excited for it. And then my stepmom, she's got a beautiful accent. And so she's trying to kind of explain, but the kids can't really fully understand what she's trying to explain. And she's trying to teach them in Spanish. And there's just kind of this blank, stare. And my daughter's like into it. She's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, and she's kind of like, just oblivious to like the reaction of these kids. And so it just was a moment. And we talked about it afterwards, but she loved it. For her, she was like,
that's what she
this
wanted.
is my grandma. Like, I want you all to learn Spanish. Like, this is what we're doing, folks. And she didn't take it any type of way. Like, because I asked her afterwards, I was like, how did you feel? How do you think that went? And she was like, I loved it. I was like, oh. I wish I had that confidence at 11 years old, because I would have been like, no one liked it. But no, and the kids were, they were not mean or anything, but they were just like, what is happening? Like, how are we in a Spanish play now? Like, what's going on?
Like, what?
And so, and my stepmom was very graceful about it and just like really sweet and engaged the kids who kind of wanted to engage. But yeah, it just was one of those moments of like, oh, this is where we live. Like, yeah. But I was proud of my daughter. I was like, she wants to be, she's like, can we go visit Honduras? And like, I want to go down. Like, we have some friends who live in Juarez, and she's like, I want to go down. I'm like, well, one thing at a time. But I love her ambition for it, and her heart for it. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've just faced as a mother in this community? And we have talked a lot. That's kind of been like the thread of this whole conversation. But is there anything else that maybe you would like to share or highlight that we didn't touch on?
I think for me, it's just finding that balance. My children are older now. They're teenagers. No, not they're teenagers. They're young adults. I'm sorry. I wish they still were with me.
In your heart, they're
teenagers. But I think it changes what, the needs for your children.
Yeah.
But it's finding that balance. And then now that they're not living in my house, is that worry about, are they safe? Are they okay? And there's just other worries about, like, when I don't hear from them, are you okay?
Yeah.
Is everything okay? And they're like, Mom, I'm okay. Mama, please. And I'm like, well, just say, I'm okay. You don't have to send me a whole email or text. Just say, okay.
Did they stay in the area? Or are they in Minnesota?
Both of them are in Minneapolis now. One is in St. Paul, the other one's in Minneapolis. But I know my oldest really misses Duluth a lot. Yeah, a lot. So I think maybe eventually he'll come back. But no, I mean, they're not that far away, but it's still, I worry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you notice in them when they moved, because Minneapolis, St. Paul is a whole other melting pot. There's much more diversity there and cultural aspects that we do not have in Duluth. So have they ever said like, any of those things?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes. Like, I know my youngest is like, I don't know about if I'm coming back. Just the amount of friends they have. And my oldest just moved there. Now it's been a year. And the connections that he has made with other people, I think he feels like he's finding himself and being able to relate and have friends other than that look like him.
Yeah.
He works at an indigenous farm, and he loves farming.
Amazing.
So he's just like, when he calls me and I hear his excitement about what he's doing, and he's trying to finish his degree and he's studying Chicano studies.
Oh, wow.
So that's the other
so
part that is
cool.
just like, I feel like he's embracing and just feeling like, wow, this is what, and now he says, this is what you want me, when I would say to him when he was younger. But, eventually your children have to find what is right for them and when is the right time. But it's that balance, I think sometimes is difficult. Yeah. So
I think for our family, it's been really, the kids there's already beginning to be an established Latino community. And I'm grateful for all the work that Susana has done.
Yes.
And our oldest has been working at Oasis since he was 14. So in the summer, and now I think he's going to stay there.
You're talking about the restaurant. Right?
Yeah.
The people who don't
so
know.
Ed, the
Some
owner,
of the best
Ed,
food on earth.
is like, he talked to Pablo and I, and he's like, I'm going to treat him like I would like my own nephew. We're like, cool, got it.
Yep.
And so we drop them off and we leave them to Ed. Like, that's it. Like, see you.
Yep.
We know Ed. Like, you're
on
good.
his turf now.
You're good. Like, this is how, like, you would be treated if you had, like, if you were with your uncle. Like,
yeah.
And so Ed doesn't give him any slack. He holds them to the same hardworking principles that my dad would have, that Pablo does, that my brother would have. Yep. So, like, it's when you're at work, you're working. You're not slacking off. You're not looking at your phone.
Right.
You're dressed appropriately, and you stay there until the very end, right? Like, after cleanup, like, you're not done until you clean up.
Yeah. Oh,
so I think it's so cool that has been able to, like, provide Ezra with some sort of, like, base on how to be, like, a healthy Hispanic Latino male, because he has Pablo.
That's so good.
But Pablo didn't have anyone. Like, we don't have any other family, right?
Yep.
And so it's like he sees how hardworking Ed is, and we'll go to places and he's like, oh, at Oasis, they wouldn't do this, or they wouldn't do that, or Ed wouldn't let me do that.
Right.
And so it was just like, oh, cool. Okay. Like, this is working. And he's learning Spanish. So the cook speaks Spanish, and, like, everyone only speaks Spanish to Ezra. Like, that's really cool. That's really helpful.
Yep.
That's he gets to practice.
Yeah, he gets to practice.
Have you noticed, like, a shift or a change, like how it's just brought out?
He's more proud of his pronunciation in Spanish, because Ezra can read in Spanish, but he couldn't speak it. And so now he's trying, like, we went to a restaurant and he tried speaking and ordering in Spanish. I was like, oh, yes. He's like, am I saying it right? Or he'll ask me very technical, linguistical questions. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like,
that's the way I
like, do you conjugate this verb and that? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, did you Google this? But that's been really cool. And also his teacher, Senora White, she's a Marshall Spanish teacher. She has seen him. He's been with her since he was in 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
And now he's in 10th grade. So he's in honors Spanish.
Ooh, that's cool.
And I don't know where Senora White came from. Like, but she's also she's a Latina.
Yeah.
Like, her parents, she didn't grow up speaking Spanish. She learned it in college.
Oh, okay.
And her pronunciation is flawless, right? Like, and so she's a big part of this, like, Latino community that we've built around Ezra. So that's cool. Now my other 2 kids are like, I don't know, they'll do their thing.
Yeah.
Like, one kid at a time.
Yep.
But it's been really cool having that Latino community slowly come up, and it's like, oh, you're Latino?
It's totally like that.
And it's just like, how'd you get here? Like, it's weird.
Like, what do
Susana,
you leave Minnesota?
Why?
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's totally.
How'd you end up in Duluth?
Like, Duluth, Minnesota.
All places in the world.
Yep.
So I think it's really cool what Ed has created at Oasis. And then Susana with the events at UMD. Yep. Susana is very mindful of inviting the community to those UMD events. Like, that is. And the fiestas in the spring and, like, so fall and spring. And then the salsa nights at Oasis.
Yes, when you told me about, because we were at the Hope and Healing Center. We were outside for some event, and you're like, I'm going to do salsa. I was like, wait, what? Where is that in Duluth, Minnesota? You're like, it's that away. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I never knew about that.
It's so cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like a mini fiesta, like, every month. And it's so intentional that it's there.
Yeah.
And it's the same 6 women, señoras, that will organize in the background.
That's so
But
cool.
like, Ed always is so welcoming, and it's almost become like a cultural hub of some sort.
Yeah, a safe space.
Yeah. Like, you sit there, people walk in, you're like, I know you. I know you.
Yep.
I know you.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, I love that. We do have a few more questions, but I think we really have talked about so many of these questions. I am curious. So What would you say to other young Latina mothers who might feel isolated or just unsure of her place here?
That's a great question.
I think that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
That we are here. We are actually a pretty large. So I do politics on the side.
Yes, you do.
It's like one of my 3 lives that I currently live
remember,
at
the
same
personal
time.
is political.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's all intertwined in who we are.
And so we got a list of DFL voters because we were phone calling. This is a Susana and I adventure. We were phone calling for the Harrison Walls campaign for Latino because I was damn adamant to find out that there were so many more of us. Mm-hmm. And we got a list of 7,000 registered DFL voters.
What? From this area.
From this area alone.
Yeah.
No way.
St. Louis County.
Yeah. That
the county
blows my mind.
The county.
I couldn't believe it neither.
Mm-hmm.
It was
oh my God.
And I mean, we have the info, we have the data, and these are folks that are calling themselves Latinos.
Yeah.
That are in St. Louis County, that are DFL, right?
My goodness.
And I'm not trying to turn this political if you're out there, because there are registered Republican Latino voters across
the board.
Wow.
But if we have 7,000 DFL Latino recognized voters, imagine the numbers that we actually have together.
Right.
So we are much more powerful, just unseen.
Yeah.
And this is where
that's wild.
It's like I say, we're here and we're never gonna go. I mean, we are here.
Yeah.
And so when I do host the fiesta, we host the Fiesta UMD, I get calls from people from Hibbing, from Chisholm, from International Falls, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll save you some tickets. Come. Yeah. And so I know, but I was surprised when I saw that list. I knew there were people all over in the San Luis County area, but it was like, yes, we are here. So my message to young Latina mothers is to say, don't think you're alone. Mm-hmm. Reach out when you need help. Get involved in your children's school. And Melissa and I are here. Mm-hmm. So if they ever need to talk to someone, please call us. I sometimes I get emails and say, someone told me so-and-so that I should call you. And I say, yeah, let's meet for coffee. How can I? Because when I came here, I was grateful that there were other people that were here to assist me. There was a very small group of Latinos here. But they were always there, kind to help me. La Señora Maria, Roxana, Camila, Patricia. I mean, that's some of the names of the women that some of them are not with us anymore, but that they open their houses and say, here, let me help you.
Yep.
Let me give you some advice of what you can do. Right. And now we are more. I feel like I used to say that I knew everybody that identified as Latino, but no anymore. Now I don't know everybody. I think Eduardo knows everybody.
Where are they? What are they? Where?
I'm like, they just come to Oasis.
I need to go
so we
to
do
Oasis.
have a Latino in Duluth group.
Okay.
Like on WhatsApp. Not everyone there is represented, but I mean, that is like a thing that we're doing. Susana and I have gotten together for lunch and dinner and talked about having a Latino resource center or Latino resource page, just anything Latino resources.
To make sure we connect other people with resources or with each other. And we have the mission, we have the goals. We just need to...
we have the name.
Before the end of the year, we need to make it happen.
Yeah. And it's so cool. And right now, in the advocacy work that I do, I end up connected to families that have Latino children that don't speak English, but we know that even within the school district, we are still we're a small minority, we're a small population, but our numbers are there. So Denfeld, Lincoln Park, Myers Wilkins for sure, and we know that there are Latino children within the school district,
right?
And there's so many more that are not just that are second and first generation. And we also have newcomers.
Right.
So we are growing.
Yeah.
Like our numbers are growing in Duluth.
And in Superior.
Yeah.
In Superior.
Which also surprises me. But yes. No, it's so I'm still thinking about that number. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. What legacy do you hope to leave? And we'll end with that question.
I think my legacy will be to that always recognizing what, like I love history, and I always believe that we stand in the shoulders of our ancestors. Yes. And I wish that the youngers, that people that come after us also remember and continue to acknowledge that not to give up and that things will get better.
Yeah.
To continue to be resilient. And that we've been here for many generations and we'll continue to be here. I always tell people, we didn't move here. The border moved. Mm-hmm. We have always been here.
Yeah.
So remember to be resilient and to always remember that we stand in the shoulders of our ancestors.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that I want to see happen in Duluth is, okay, this is going to sound so little, okay, and it might be like such a Melissa thing, but I want to see a Latino business, a panaderia, carniceria. I want to see that because we know that with economic progress, we can, it becomes more permanent. We become more permanent.
That's so good.
And laying our roots down is so important. So I think economic progress within the Latino community, we have Oasis currently.
Yeah.
Emiliano's in straight up right here in downtown Duluth.
I mean, most of the Mexican restaurants are owned by Latinos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there is already some economic, but you're right. We don't have other businesses.
Right.
Can we? Yeah.
And so maybe like a Latino Chamber of Commerce, like that would be absolutely fantastic.
That would be amazing.
Like having some economic power and some political power within the city of Duluth, making sure that we have anyone, Latino person within the school district, the Duluth school district. And so really making sure that our kids know that they're valued and that they can do great things.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know. That's a goal. Like, let's get somebody on city council. Like,
yeah, Melisa.
I'll start crying. I was like, oh my God, you guys are so mean. But someone in the school district, like, let's get a school board member. Like, let's do something and show like we do have the numbers to prove that we can be a very powerful group.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just. I just keep working at it.
You're making great strides. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Where can people get a hold of you? That's how I should probably end. Do you have any social media that you put out or any way to reach out if they do want to have a conversation or connect, like you're saying?
I'm okay if people contact me at UMD.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, we can put your email in the show notes.
Yes.
Your UMD contact information.
If anybody needs information about college or education, please contact me.
Wonderful.
And you can add my personal email.
Okay.
To the contact. Yeah. That would be fine. Yeah. That would
be
cool.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us today. If something spoke to you, please share this with a friend who you think could really benefit from this episode. And remember, to help our show grow and reach more people just like you, make sure to follow the show and leave a 5-star review. And if you want to continue to have critical and courageous conversations, well, then we'll see you in the next episode.